Shocking news coming in. Indian diplomats in Canada are under surveillance. Government has told the parliament and informed the parliament that the Indian consular officials in Vancouver were under audio and video surveillance. The centre said that even officials with their private communications have been intercepted. Minister of State for External Affairs Kirti Singh has, with a written response in Rajya Sabha, said respect for each other's concerns, territorial integrity and sovereignty are essential for a stable bilateral relationship. Singh was asked whether there are any instances of cyber surveillance or any other forms of the diplomats in Canada. I want to immediately bring in India Today's managing editor Govt Sawant for the latest on that. Gaurav, I wouldn't say it's shocking because this is what has been expected from Canada, but they are just crossing one threshold after another. How do you think Indian government is going to take this ahead, and what do you think it speaks about Canadian government to be indulging in surveillance of Indian diplomats?
Kirti Singh, the Minister of State for External Affairs, Pooja, very clearly said in Parliament that Canada's actions are incompatible with diplomatic practices and norms between countries. Surveillance, audio and visual, that's point one, and point two, including personal emails, including personal communication of diplomats, was intercepted by Canadian authorities. And is it just Canadian authorities, or the bigger question that was this a part of a larger Five Eyes operation? And since Canada is a part of Five Eyes, was the US doing exactly the same, and were other members of Five Eyes also doing this to Indian diplomats? Because if India were to do the same to Canadian diplomats or other diplomats, there would be hell to buy. So this just goes on to show how Canada completely disregarded India's concerns. What's also more is Canada openly telling India that it will not be able to provide even minimum security to the consular camps being organized in that country for Indian citizens who are pensioners in Canada for their life certificate. This just goes on to show that the Justin Trudeau government is completely in the hands of the Khalistani elements. Basic security. Can you imagine an Indian government telling a foreign government here in Delhi or any other part of India that we will not be able to provide security to Canadian diplomats anywhere in the country? That's just extremely, it's just unacceptable. And yet Canada, claiming to be a first world country, wants to get away with such practices. And India has completely exposed Canada globally for their support to Khalistani elements, that these Khalistani elements who want to balkanize India, saying this is completely unacceptable. The two sides are hoping to come together, perhaps under a new regime, because under Justin Trudeau it's not possible, and India has realized that. He's taken Canada down a very, very slippery slope. In fact, within Canada, it's now being said until there's a new government in Canada, even Donald Trump in the United States will not be engaging with the Justin Trudeau government. So they're hoping post-February, whenever elections are held in Canada, it would be either Pierre Poilievre or whoever comes in, it would be somebody who would be much better than the current dispensation that's taken Canada down a very, very slippery slope.
Let's hope that the Canadians can decide better. And also the security that you're mentioning, it's not random security for Indian diplomats. They are literally facing death threats. There are posters of their assassination being put and paraded. And even then being told to Indian diplomats cannot even give you basic security for the camps. That is reflective of the attitude of the incumbent government in Canada against India. Gaurav, I want to thank you for the latest on that. But remember, India has also responded strongly over this and will continue to put out statements.